We're recording. So welcome to our October team meeting. And we have, it's been an interesting month so far. Our volume is pretty good for the month, so that's good. And I just wanted to start out by asking if anyone has any questions about the wholesale customer category, because I know we have started that new.
Can you clarify what we talked about the moving people?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, and I should have brought that slide up, but I didn't think to do it. So Kim had a good question, and so I thought that I heard something that apparently I didn't hear. But what the wholesale customer category is, if when you enroll someone as a wholesale customer, and if they decide and you put them somewhere in one of your teams, and then if they decide that they want to be a wellness advocate and they upgrade their membership to wellness advocate, there is no charge for doing that. The only thing they have to do is provide their social security number so that they can receive a commission check. And when they do that, if it's less than 90 days since they've been enrolled, then they can't be moved. If it's more than 90 days, they can be moved. That's even if they've had a move in the first 14 days in that 14-day window of opportunity. So if you did put them on your, let's say you put them on your top line while you were making a decision of where they should go, and then you move them someplace else, then they decided to become a wellness advocate. If it's less than 90 days, there's no move. If it's more than 90 days, you can have a second move. So whether you move them the first time or not, you still only get a second, you only get another move, whether it's the first move or the second move, only after they've been a wholesale customer for at least 90 days. Does that make sense?
Margie, this is Nikki.
That
does make sense. I did follow that. I was looking for information on this, and I'm sorry, I'm on my phone, so I don't see the slide. So if it's in the slides, please excuse me. But I was wanting to get written information about this. I contacted member services sometime in the last couple of days, asking them for like a press release or the announcement or something, of which they couldn't provide to me. They said they didn't have it, and how they explained it was just that wholesale members don't earn commissions. Which is true, I realize, but I wanted to get in writing this move information and parameters around the moving.
Okay,
is there anything that you could send out about that?
I can forward you. I got the recording of the video recording of the call that they had for the leaders, and I also took a screenshot of the one slide that showed the move stuff. So I can provide the recording link. Hopefully it will work. I don't know, because it might, if it was a unique link, I don't think it was. So I can forward that to you, and I can also forward you the slide. Because
that would be great.
Yeah.
And then my second follow-up question, so with the 90 days, so do we still have a premier move option?
No, the premier move. The premier move is going away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. So I will send that to everyone that's on the call. I don't think I'll send it to people that aren't on the call, only because they might not know what I'm even talking about. But since you guys are here on the call, then I'll send it to all of you. And of course, anyone who listens to the recording, they can request it from me, and I'll send it to them. So anyway, any other questions about wholesale customer new category? Okay, Good. So the next thing that we wanted to talk about, we had a really wonderful class on Sunday, and Kim Jones hosted that class. And Kim, you want to tell a little bit, kind of how many wellness advocates we had there and how many people attended and kind of what happened? Would you share that with us, please?
Yes. I have to think back about how many people were there. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. So there were about 10 people that came. And then there were the 3 of us, Laura, myself, and Margie. And I think that's a good number. 10 is a great number. Although 10 by yourself would be a nightmare. 10 for me would have been a nightmare by myself. I actually only had an opportunity to work with like 2 people at the end. And then one person happened to stay and waited till I finished doing everything, and which was really great for her to do that. But I couldn't have done it without the help of Margie and Laura with us. So it was a great class. And I think after that class, Margie and I realized that just the amount of people that we had really helps the whole class to be excited. People are talking amongst each other, trying to pick what they're going to order, and it just kind of gives a little bit of excitement when there is that many people there. And I think the collaboration between Margie and Laura and myself and us inviting people to one spot as a team is really helpful. So Margie wanted to propose that we do 1 class a month, and I would go ahead and offer my home to do that locally. If everybody would commit to 1 class a month and inviting people to that class.
Right. So that's the one thing that is it's a great idea. And what I would like to recommend is that all our teams all around, not just our team locally, but everyone kind of gets together as a team and decides how they're going to make that work in their community. So that's going to be a really powerful thing, because what we realize, and we've known this for a long time, but I think it just becomes more clear every time we do something and we have lots of success. It becomes very clear that our success is the result of our collaboration. And it's a result of more than one wellness advocate being there and being available to talk to people. If you have a class of 1 or 2, then obviously, one wellness advocate can handle that. But if you have a class of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, there is literally no way that you can meet everyone's needs. And the class is the class, the context of the class is fine, but then afterwards, as people are having questions, it's really imperative that they get the kind of help that not one person can give them. I also found that was very interesting. We were each of us and this happened organically. It wasn't like we talked about it ahead of time. But what happens is the people that you've resonated with during the class, you kind of gravitate to them to help them. And I also found myself, when there were, 1 or 2 people kind of just looking at their materials, I walked over and said, do you have some questions that I can answer, or can I help guide you? And that really made a difference, because if they had been sitting there on their own, they might have chosen to order nothing, or they might have just been confused, or they might have said, well, I just am going to leave, or whatever. But
yeah, you have to realize that after the class, people are really excited about the oils. Right after the class, right after we explain about the kits and so forth, everybody is totally ready to order and really excited. And if they're waiting and waiting and waiting to talk to you, that excitement goes down.
Right. They start questioning even their decision,
Exactly. So if there aren't enough people to help and people are waiting and waiting and waiting, that's a problem.
Right.
So the last class I had at my mom's house, that was the issue. It was just me. But there were like 8 people there. So everyone had to wait and wait and wait until I could help them personally. And it was a little frustrating, although those people knew each other, so they could talk amongst each other and wait for me. But when people don't know each other, they're more apt to just kind of stay to themselves, and then it's frustrating.
Right.
So it's really helpful to have more than one advocate there.
And the bottom line is, we had 5 people that came to that class that were not yet enrolled, and all 5 of them enrolled. All became wholesale customers. So that is the proof that this kind of strategy works, and that is a really important thing. The other couple things that are so important are that all of those, even if let me back up a second. Most of the people that came had an essential oil experience before they came, and they either Kim had sampled something for them, or they had some experience previously with essential oils. And we know that when people have had an experience, or 2 experiences, or 3 experiences, they are more ready to purchase when they attend the class. If they haven't been sampled and other people have been sampled, then the people that have been sampled build the enthusiasm and the interest, and people make their decisions because they too become excited in the same way.
Yep.
So the fact that not everybody can be sampled because maybe they live far away from you and you don't get to the post office to mail them something, or there's just some other barrier to getting them the sample. As long as there are lots of people at the class who have been sampled, then it's still going to be okay. So I think it's important to understand that. So
I want to mention is inviting people, because I think that we have low attendance when we don't invite enough people. And I think if we commit to doing classes once a month at the same time, you can send out emails or Facebook invite, monthly to the same people. Every single time you have a class, you invite the same people that haven't been there. And I think when you invite 2 people, the normal amount marketing wise that you're going to get in return is 10%. So you'll either have nobody or a half a person there if you invite 2 people. You see what I'm saying? I invited 147 people to this. So 10% of that is what? Like 14 people. And of course, we all know that, some people don't say they're coming on purpose, or they say they're coming, they even RSVP and they still don't come. So out of those 147 people, there were five people came that I invited. That's an okay number, but look how many people I had to invite to get 5. Right. So inviting onesie twosies does not work. So that's just, and same thing with like inviting people through email and then not doing Facebook. You need to do both of them, because some of my Facebook people, I don't even have their emails. And so they're extra people that I'm inviting. So I think we need to be really consistent also when we do inviting.
And one additional thing to that is that it's going to even be more powerful if we have a phone call or an in-person invitation, because then people know that you're really asking them, that you're not just sending out a blanket thing to a lot of people. The second best thing to that would be personalized, making sure that the emails are personally, the greetings are personal to each individual.
Right.
So that they do feel like you really want them to be there. So those are important things as well. And then getting people to the class, it's the reminders. Very important to remind them about the class the day before, and it's important to remind them the day of. You don't have to be crazy about it, but if you just send them a reminder the day before, say, really, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And then the day of the class, you say, can't wait for you to come. I'm saving a seat for you. so that there's excitement that's being built as a result of the invitation process. I think that's also a really important piece. So anyway, so I would love to help any of you that want to try to create what we created, but the important piece, like Kim said, is that if we can do a class that everyone in a particular locale is inviting people to, a home like Kim's home is a wonderful home for doing classes because she has a nice big space for the class. And so it's a really wonderful spot to do it. So if someone can offer their home, and it doesn't have to be a central location, the same place every single time, but if a team gets together and says, this month I'm offering a class for the whole team, and next month somebody else is offering it. So you put something together maybe on a quarterly basis so that you have classes on the schedule and everybody is inviting to those classes. So also it's just the teamwork. When we work together, it's less work for each person. Instead of us, everybody's trying to recreate the wheel every single month, trying to hold a class in their home and making the food and cleaning the house and getting out the invitations. And, it is a lot of work, but if we work together and one person provides the food and one person provides the home and one person, and everybody invites, then it really is much more powerful. So I think that's really important. Any questions about any of that or comments? Would anyone like to add anything to that?
Marty, this is Elizabeth.
Yes, hi.
Well, two things. I think that sounds like a great idea. I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage because I don't live where the rest of my team lives.
Yep, you are definitely at a disadvantage.
But that just means I need to build my team here in Richmond.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what I was going to say, because as you get at least sharers that, you can build that with, and hopefully you're going to get some good builders over the next few months. And then you'll have that infrastructure.
Right. My second question is, I have been invited to, and I don't know that it's going to work out with my calendar because it's right after Thanksgiving and we'll have family in town, to do a vendor open house, like somebody from Stella and Dot, somebody from LuLaRoe's, renting a place and doing like a small business I think it's a Saturday after Thanksgiving. Has that worked well for anybody?
Anybody want to comment?
I'll comment. I find that those work well for getting leads. And as long as you're going to follow up on the leads after, that's great, as long as you're not putting out a lot of money. And the other thing lately that I've been doing is offering like a small little package that I can afford to purchase items up front and just sell those. So like I'll put together like a little diffuser that's not doTERRA because it's cheaper. And that's going to have to be up to you whether you want to do that or not. But it's like a little $16 diffuser and 2 oils. And so I'll sell the whole package for $60. And it gets people started on their journey because now they have 2 oils and a diffuser. And more people are apt to spend $60 than $275 at an event like that, especially when you're not doing a class and all of that.
And that's what I was worried about, setting up a television and trying to do a class when people are walking by. I didn't understand how that.
That's hard. That's hard to do. Yeah. So if you offer something like that, then I have had good luck with people totally writing a check for $60 and saying, "Oh, I'm in now," So you might want to try that.
Are you getting their info, Kim, to sign that? Not that they're going to sign up for a wholesale membership at that point, but do they just walk and you don't have their info?
You know what? I have mostly done that, offered that at my network groups where I know these people, but I have been when I go to the boutique, I put in the cost of the $35 membership fee. So they are actually signing up with the $35 and then for those items, and they just write a check to me. And that's how it works. I sign them up using my credit card, and then it's not saved in their account. And so they have an account, they are enrolled. But you have to include that $35 in whatever package you're offering.
So what oils do you normally include? Because if you've got a $16 diffuser and then you've got what, like $10 oils, like a...
I did, for this month, I'm doing a spooktacular special, and it's the little $16 diffuser. It's wild orange and clove. And they can have, you know, the whole kind of Thanksgiving aroma in their homes and so forth. They like that. And I've had 3 people buy that so far in the last 3 weeks.
So with that, so with the diffuser and those 2 oils, plus you throw in the $35?
No, for this thing I didn't, but I've offered some other things like my little college kit. I offered some items and included the $35, but it was way under the $150 that they would pay for a physician's kit, you know?
Okay, gotcha. That's what I was wondering. Okay, great. That's a great idea. Thanks.
And I would definitely recommend that you always get their contact information. And,
yeah.
you know, because you're going to want to follow up with them and see how they're doing with their products. And that way you can get them involved another time. Definitely. And then as far as other things, you know, we have had a lot of members do boutiques, holiday boutiques, you know, this time of year, and they have had varying levels of success. I think I think what Kim said is super important. It's a great way to get leads. I would recommend that if it's an event where you have to spend very much money, don't do it. Because the cost, if you can't recoup the cost just by being there, it's probably not worth it, because the number of leads you're going to get, you know, like we did a great big giant event and we got a total of about 30 leads. You know, that was not very good. 30 leads, and the event had like 30,000 people.
I'm doing some holiday boutiques, and I'm actually going to make stuff. I'm making sugar scrubs, lip scrubs, and, you know, roller balls, stuff that's not that expensive overall, but that people can take with them for stocking stuffers and stuff.
And that's also a really great way to go. And I think that a lot of people have had good success with those kinds of things, because you can just have a little package there, you hand it to them, you get their contact information. I like to give them a receipt, like a duplicate receipt, where you keep one, and so you've gathered their information right on the receipt, and you just hand them their little receipt, and that way they don't mind giving you their contact information when you're doing it that way. So that, you know, I have found that to have some degree of success. Just don't break the bank with it. You know, like what Laura's doing with the boutiques that she's going to be a part of, you know, she's not going to spend a ton of money. And, you know, you can use your points in your account, or, you know, just think you're going to use a bottle of lavender and a bottle of lemon or something like that. So it's not a huge expense. You buy some, you know, some sugar if you're going to do a sugar scrub, or you buy some Epsom salts if you're going to do a bath, you know, a bath bomb or a bath salts or something like that. And you know, the roller balls are inexpensive to do because it's just a few drops of oil. So those are good strategies. And the way I see that is they're buying their samples. You know, you're getting them to actually put down some money and buy their first experience. So, and they're getting something for that. If someone's buying a gift item, because a lot of times then people aren't going to experience the product themselves, you might want to offer something to give them. They're buying a gift for someone, you might give them a little sample of something. I wouldn't give anybody a sample that doesn't buy something, though, because it really is kind of a waste of time.
Laura, would you mind sending out your recipes that you're using for your boutique stuff?
No, sure. I'd be happy to do that. I'll send them. I can give them to Margie, and she can distribute it.
Yeah, Margie, do you mind? Only because there's so many online. I would just love to know what has worked for other people.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. This will be my first time doing it, so it may or may not work. We'll see. But I did listen to this video from this other woman who she runs oilcamp.com. I'm not buying into oil camp, but there was a video. I highly recommend anybody go to it. It's called oilcamp.com, and there's a video on how to make vendor events work. And she's got some really great tips on like instead of when you're doing a raffle, she uses the survey that's in the I think it's in the Live Guide or Share Guide, one of them, where it's got like 12 different questions, and they can only enter the drawing if they fill out that form. And she showed and she had you add the name and email address, and then you have their contact. So even if they don't win, you know what kind of things they're interested in, so that you can call them and talk to them about that kind of stuff. So she had some really, really great tips that I'm going to incorporate. So that might be something for everybody to look at too, if you're doing vendor events, to go to that. And it's about 30 minutes, but I think it's well worth it. I got a lot of tips on how to make some vendor events work better. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Something else that's worked, and Margie has suggested these things, but Elizabeth too, if you just, it's a little bit of an expense, but it looks really nice. I did a holiday one, gosh, a year or two ago, I don't know. And it was, I used the Aroma Tools or even Oil Life. They have those rollerball remedies, or they have all those different like classes and kits. Well, don't get the kit because you don't need all that. Just buy like the assortment page or just the individual pages that you actually like stress less, or simple things that people will catch right away what it is. They might not really understand what the oils are. Or also buy the ones that are the cheaper oils. Don't get the one that's like frankincense and bergamot, and forget that. Don't sell that one.
Yeah, you can also just buy the recipe thing, Sarah. The whole there's 12
that's what I did.
Christmas.
Right.
And instead of putting it in the spray bottle, you can actually just do it with the rollerball. That's what I did.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. So yeah, the Aroma Tools has like set stuff, and then I really liked their labels because they looked really nice. And then somebody felt like they were getting something, and I had like a 2 for 10 if you bought 2 or something, because it really wasn't costing that much, but it covered everything plus like being at the event and stuff. And people got them. And then another piece I didn't do at that point, but something else that's worked with other vendor fairs or health fairs or something, was if they get something and they come, you have to watch the complexity of things. People get overloaded. But if it's something simple, like pick the things that work for you with what you're doing. But it was if they buy something and they sign up for a class and then attend, they got a special gift at the class. So then you're driving them not only to just buy something, right, because they might just like it and then forget about it and never do anything else, which happens, a lot because they may not understand. But if you tell them, hey, you'll get a special gift if you actually RSVP and attend this class that helps you have classes set up. And then it would be something simple like whatever else, 2 roller balls or a small sample set or something that would be, whatever makes sense. But then people were more interested in signing up for classes and giving their info because they were like, oh, a free gift, great. So, but then you have to have the set classes to make it work. That's what.
Those are great.
Then you have that to follow up and everything. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's really important, is to have a class set up before an event, for a week or 2 after the event. Because anybody that is interested, you want to be sure that you have a place to direct them, because they're not likely to set up a one-on-one with you at that moment if you don't know them, but they may be willing to come to a class. So it is important, even if you just manufacture a class for that event, which, believe me, we've done a lot of that. We say we're having a class on such and such a date, and we have we have a sheet where they can put their name on. There are lots of ways to do that, but they put their email address and their telephone number so that you can contact them, and you don't have to have the invitation right there. You can just have like a flyer that's the invitation, but you don't have to hand them anything, because then you have the opportunity to follow up with them via email and or telephone. And that just cements the relationship, and then you have another opportunity to speak to them. So it's really a better way than having them get the invitation and you expect them to come as a result of the invitation. So it's a little less costly that way too, because you don't have to print anything in color. So anyway, hope that helps. Okay. I hate that we're going a little bit over. Is anybody on a tight time frame and they want to be, or they need to leave now? Because otherwise we're going to spend a couple more minutes. Is that okay? Do I have your permission to do so? Okay, thank you. We wanted to spend a couple minutes brainstorming about ways to follow up with people and ways to contact your existing customers also. So what we would like to do is I'm going to have Marty give you a little bit of background here because we've been talking about this and we were talking about it a lot last night, and we came up with some of our own ideas, but we would like to have this be a brainstorming time so that each of you can share things that have worked for you. So Marty, would you please unmute yourself and start speaking?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Sarah, it's nice to see you. It looks like you're semi-settled, and I think Nikki's on the phone. So good luck with her tomorrow. The thing is that as far as leads, or when you talk to somebody about the products, the oils, they may not be ready. I think I've said it before. They may not be ready to do, to come to a class or whatever right now. And a lot of times you try calling them back. I'll tell you, it's very important that you actually follow up on those leads because it's hard to get those names and numbers. So once you have them and they don't respond right away, a lot of people get discouraged. They don't want to, they feel like, oh, I called them, I keep getting voicemail, blah, blah, blah. But what we were talking about, Margie and I, is why don't they call back? And they probably don't call back because they don't see any value in calling back. They don't want to typically call a salesperson. I mean, who wants to really call a salesperson to try and buy something? Nobody wants to. So it's very hard to get people to call back. And what I have found, what I tell my salespeople, and we do a lot of this because we're an inside sales team, and they're always on the phone and they're always doing things, and even via email, the same thing, is you have to provide some reason for them to call you back. And you have to provide value for them to call you back. And so if it's someone that has children, don't talk about the oils and whatnot. Talk about On Guard and fighting, winter colds or whatever you think fits that person's profile. Try and customize the message to them so they will call you back. But don't give them too much information. Because if you give them enough information and they know what they wanted to find out, then they won't call you back. So the idea is, something like, hi, Mary, you stopped by our corporate event, or you stopped by our open house, or you stopped by whatever, a month ago it could be, and I know you were interested in some of the solutions for kids, and protecting them against getting sick. And, we just introduced this new product, what it is, and say, why don't you give me a call back? That's all. So in that way, you addressed what you think is their need, and you've identified that, and you've given them enough information to determine whether or not they're interested or not. And if they are interested, they will call back. So the key is to find some reason for them to call back. Now, if you call somebody, I hate when my salespeople do this, and I hate it. They pick up the phone, they call somebody, they get them on the line. How's the weather? Like, well, what do I care how the weather is? Get right. You only have like 30 seconds to get the person, probably less than that, to get them engaged. So get right to the point. Say, hi, how you doing? This is Marty Lash from doTERRA. You might remember we met. I know that, and then go into what specific solution. So it's the same thing as the recording. So the idea is to immediately build value, and then that will open the person up to listen, and then you can go from there. So part of what I think happens, and I have this going on all the time, is when we try somebody and they don't respond, or you leave them you send an email or you leave a message, they kind of go into a black hole where you all of a sudden you don't see them anymore and you don't call them anymore. But I would encourage you to call every old lead, every old name, every old person that you met, all those people that are previously in your pool, because you may have hit them at the wrong time. And now when you call, I think you hit them at the right time. I think a lot of you have heard me say that your odds of calling somebody on an exact day when they want an exact oil are very, very, very low. But you want them to learn more about the solutions and think about it so that when they are ready, they call you. So that's just, has anybody, I guess I would ask the question, has anybody had any luck or, because I'll take it to my salespeople too, but with people calling them back?
Actually, this is Elizabeth. I have had a little bit of luck, and it's a little bit of a different spin, but kind of the same thing. So I've been trying to watch my news feed on Facebook and see moms that I'm friends with talk about how their kids are sick, or they haven't slept in 2 days, or they haven't done this, or their skin is dry because of the change in weather. I've been following up with them to say, hey, I saw your Facebook post. I'm so sorry you're struggling with that. I have a solution.
That's great. Yeah.
I haven't been calling people from past, and I don't have that many people to call, but
right.
But I have been trying to do that, because what historically I've been doing, just saying, hey, I do doTERRA, or are you interested in learning? That's not. It needs to hit home for them. So,
yeah, that's actually really great if you can find out exactly their problem and address that. That's even better than trying to figure it out. I mean, you're not figuring it out; you see it right there on Facebook. So that's a great strategy.
And it makes them feel like someone paid attention to their Facebook post. Because sometimes I post stuff and I think to myself, no one cares, Elizabeth, how you slept last night. So, it does make people feel a little bit important.
Yeah. Well, that's very good. And are you having any luck with that?
Twice I have had luck.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that's very good. It's a very good approach. I would really encourage you and anybody else that looks a lot at Facebook and has a lot of whiny friends. No, I'm not only kidding, but a lot of friends with issues.
That's the truth.
A lot of friends with issues. It's great to be able to help them and at the same time get them interested.
One person's whiny friend is another person's cash cow.
There you go. So it sounds like you guys are kind of thinking about this, and I would really encourage you not to give up on those leads and keep working those leads. But again, try and make your conversation, especially if you get voicemail, very, very relevant to what you think they'd be interested in.
And when you make those occasional follow-up calls to someone that you've been working on for quite a long time, you can make a different offer, and you can make it that, you are trying to be of service to them and hit something that is of interest to them. And I think that that's one of the things, and Elizabeth, I love your comment, and I've done the same thing. I'll see somebody says they're struggling with a particular thing, and then I immediately contact them and ask them if I can send them a sample for that. And I've sent a lot of samples for those things, and sometimes they work and sometimes it doesn't work, but like, oh my gosh, I just realized it was someone I was supposed to follow up with and I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. I didn't write it on my calendar. Oh, bad girl. I sent a sample of In Tune to someone. I was supposed to follow up with her on Sunday. That was 2 days ago. Anyway, and she was going to try it with her son who really needed it, and I didn't follow up. So slap myself. But anyway, I obviously will do that. It's going on my calendar right now for tomorrow. But anyway, those kinds of things. She was totally excited. Actually, she responded to a Facebook post. It wasn't even something that I noticed. I had posted something with the new Amplify that we can use, so we can use doTERRA content. I don't know if all of you know about that, but we can use a platform called Amplify on our iPhone. I think it's in the Google Store too, and you can actually get beautiful content straight from doTERRA, and you can personalize it if you want to. And I took a beautiful image from doTERRA, and at the end of the image I said, let me know what body part you need to address, or something like that, or what do you need, what kind of, I'd love to make a recommendation for you. And this one person said, I need help with my son that has attention issues. And so I was able to follow up with her immediately. We talked on the telephone. I sent her a sample. I followed up with her when she received the sample. And now I have to just follow up with her again to see how it's working for them. But that's a really powerful way.
Can I say something also? I know it's really hard for people even to remember to follow up if you don't have some kind of reminder. But it's really difficult for people with the way our lives are to even think about the oils. Obviously if they don't have them at all, but to contact somebody in between your classes, it's just not enough. And people need to actually be seeing or be in contact with the oils at all times, kind of. And I don't mean at all times like every day you send an email, but you need to really engage with people. People need, even if it's just an email, it doesn't mean that you have to call them all the time. But if people come get an invite to your class in March, and then you don't have another class for 3 months, that's 3 months that they've had no contact with oils at all. And I think that's like starting all over again when you send them the next invite. So I think it's really important to engage with people in between there. And like they say, the 7th follow-up usually gets the sale. So I think it's just staying engaged with people all the time. And, I'm finding the best way to do that is through some kind of program or software. That is the best way to do it. And I know it can be kind of expensive, but I'm finding success being with Hatchbuck. And it's a system that allows you to send out emails. It reminds you to follow up with people. There's something, I think, that Success Pro or someone is doing that. It's the same thing, but it works on your mobile phone. And it's cheaper than what I'm using. But I really recommend, if you want people to be engaged all the time, getting involved with something like that.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks very much for sharing that. And I totally agree. We were looking at possibly doing something that we could all share in some way. And we'll see if we can. I reached out to a few people that I thought would be interested, but we didn't really make the offer to the whole team, and maybe we can reevaluate that and see what makes sense. So so please let me know if you are interested in something like that. We can probably get a reduce everyone's cost if we do it together as a group, so we can see what would make sense with regard to that. I think the program that Kim is using seems to have a good degree of success, and I've been watching what she's been doing, and it seems to be working for her. So that may be something that we want to consider for the future.
Kim, what was yours called again?
It's called Hatchbuck. Hatchbuck.com.
Oh, okay. I use a thing called outstand.com. It used to be Ace of Sales, but I mean, I'm open to looking at other stuff. I mean,
Yeah, and you know, we can try. I wanted to really do like a try to figure out, you know, get evaluations of different programs and see what people like and that kind of thing. So, because we would like to do something, do a platform that we can stay with. So that is something that we would, you know, that we're thinking about. So Laura, yeah, we can take a look at that. I know that.
Hatchbuck actually offers that. They actually offer where you can have it, where you have team members.
And how do you spell it? Because I just tried to go to it and it took me to Hatch Education.
It's HATCHBUCK.
Oh, Buck, Hatchbuck. Okay, got it. Okay, thanks.
All right. Okay. Anybody have, so any other comments people would like to make? Any other comments about things that are working for them with regard to follow-ups and, you know, contacting their customer?
Margie, I was just going to say, I think Kim did this as well, but Lead Train, and I think for her, Hatchbuck was, because she knows this stuff better, that was better fit for her. But I'm going to try Lead Train and try
good.
That was, it seems to fit what I'm needing. It's just a reminder, a system that everything can be in, and that's still here. I know when this is coming up and what's happening, and welcome emails and kind of setting everything up that so it becomes automatic, but still I can control it and I can still put a personal touch to it. And I'm still figuring it out, but they do have a free samples. It was interesting when I did the demo, they have a free samples like landing page they already created and an events page. So you can have a, you know, I already have a website, so I can just link pages to, you know, request a free sample, you know, what's going on today or something. And then any classes, then I can put them on my events page, and then there's already a space for it. So might be overlap for what other people already are doing, but
yeah, but that's awesome, because that's the one thing is like, especially with all the social media, we need landing page, and that's where I was struggling. I'm like, where do I send them? I don't have a landing page. So if you're saying Lead Train allows you to have that, that's awesome, because it's a way to give them someplace to go.
Right, yeah, and you don't have to have a website. You can just point them to that landing page.
Awesome.
2 pages. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that Kim did mention the Share Success Pro app that some of us did try. I know, Sarah, you tried that also. And I just found it was overwhelming for the person receiving the communications and overwhelming for the wellness advocate.
I agree.
You know, I just didn't find it to be helpful at all. They just relaunched it, and I'm not interested in doing that. I think these other systems that you can personalize are so much better.
Yeah, I mean, you can personalize that too. I sat in on like a 20-minute thing on that, and it's really cool. But you know what? I just don't think texting is a good way to communicate with people. To me, that's annoying to constantly have texts come in when you don't want to. And emails, you can control whether you want to open them now or later. And people should have a choice. They shouldn't be like pushed that much. Texting to me is just too annoying.
Well,
you know?
they do use a combination of emails and texts on Share Success Pro. It depends on what category you put the lead in. If you sample them, then they get text messages. If they're becoming a builder or a sharer, they get emails. And so it's because there's more information that's shared with them. And they get a combination of things, but it's way too much.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can't control that. You can't control how often they get communicated with. So it's just too much. So yeah. Okay. Any other comments?
The Lead Train looks really interesting, Sarah. Thanks for letting me know about that.
Okay. Great. So we have lots of things that we can follow up on and do, and I just want you all to feel empowered. So I would like to challenge you right now to think about what essential oil you need right now. And I want you to go to your arsenal and pick up that essential oil and apply it to yourself. Because I think that this time of day, oftentimes we aren't thinking about self-care. And so I'm just going to recommend to you, who would I be if I didn't make a recommendation to use an essential oil, right? So please go to your box or your spot where you have your oils and choose something to use when you get off our call. So thank you all very much, and I'll talk to you all very soon, I'm sure. So have a wonderful evening.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.